Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I want to tackle the question, are bodybuilders really weaker than the average powerlifter? And I'm going to talk about the natural bodybuilders I've met and the natural powerlifters I've met and just share some personal experiences. Before I get into that topic, if you have a question or comment, check out the link below. Come on over, submit your questions. The best questions I turn into videos just like this. All right, for those of you guys unaware, I got into this because of a love of bodybuilding. I've been lifting for about 32 years, on and off, a few breaks. But until 2007, I was all about the bodybuilding lifestyle. I was all about Tom Platz and Arnold and Lee Haney and all those classic guys. And it wasn't until 2007 that I found out about a sport called powerlifting, made the transition, and now people call me a powerlifter. But until that time, I practiced power building, where I would get as strong as humanly possible, generally in the 5 to 12 rep range. Now, I'm also an industry writer and editor. I've done video work. I've traveled. I've met tons and tons of celebrities, tons and tons of natural bodybuilders. I've done film work on natural bodybuilding champions. Everyone from Mr. Minnesota to Mr. North Carolina and pretty much everyone in between. And I've met them, trained with them, etc. In my powerlifting travels, I've trained with hundreds and hundreds of powerlifters. I know a lot of the top powerlifters by heart. I know Brian Carroll and Jonathan Bird, and I've met just about everybody you can imagine, natural and unnatural. Now, there is some information that floats around on the web, and guys will ask me like, hey, this bodybuilder isn't very strong compared to a top-level powerlifter. I want to share with you some personal experiences when it comes to bodybuilders. Now, powerlifters are generally very one-rep max strong. We all know that. That's their function, to get as strong as possible on the squat, bench press, and deadlift. What I have found, though, most impressive about bodybuilders is, and first off, I'll say when I meet most bodybuilders, natural or not natural, they tell me the same thing when they find out I'm a powerlifter. They say, oh, I'm not very strong. I don't train for strength. And then we proceed to go to the gym and they just slaughter heavy iron. I mean, they are strong. I would say 98% of these guys are super strong, but they don't think they're strong. They don't know anything about powerlifting. They live in the bodybuilding realm. But when you train with them, they could easily be competitive powerlifters. They are strong as heck. There's very few that I meet that aren't super strong, but they're close. They might be 10, 20% off. So the idea that bodybuilders are somehow less strong than powerlifters, therefore there's a different style of training, in my experience, this is complete bullshit. About, again, maybe 10% of the bodybuilders that I meet aren't as strong or couldn't be competitive powerlifters. But I'm going to tell you, 90% that I meet could. They are goddamn strong, excuse my language, but they are super strong. Everyone impresses me. There's about 10% I meet that are a little bit weaker than I expect. But still, they're still as strong or stronger than most of the average gym rats. And they have pretty impressive physiques. What separates the bodybuilders, though, is that even the guys that are only pulling 405, say on the deadlift, or benching 225 on the bench, they can do a crazy amount of volume, stuff that will kill a powerlifter. There is a bodybuilder in the gym I train at Tiger Fitness, Terry Bryant's Tiger Fitness Center, and he was deadlifting with 405 for like 90 minutes the other morning. He did like at least 100 reps. I'm like, that would kill me. That would kill me. So he's not in there pulling 600, but he's doing 405 for probably 100 reps. It was just ridiculous. When I went to train with Mr. North Carolina, Joe Arabo, and he was Mr. North Carolina, years ago, but he told me right away, hey, I'm not very strong. And then he got the 150s on the dumbbells and knocked out 12 reps. I'm like, Jesus, I can't do that, and I'm a power lifter. He smoked me. So I will say, pound for pound, if you consider the weight of these bodybuilders, these guys are strong. These are strong. And the reason why I want to make this video is because I have traveled and trained with extensively natural bodybuilders, natural powerlifters on all levels, top, the mid-card guys. And this, I can tell you for a fact that anybody that has been in this game for a while, 5 to 10 years, and is a competitive bodybuilder or a competitive powerlifter is freaking strong, They might say they don't train for strength. They might say they're not very strong. But when you get into the gym, these bodybuilders are just as strong as most of the powerlifters. They could easily be competitive powerlifters. So the next time you hear this idea that bodybuilders aren't very strong, or you see the one or two bodybuilders out there that aren't very strong, there's a couple things to think about. Number one, they could be a genetic freak. Number two, it could be the case that they got a lot stronger during the process where they built 90% of their mass and then they backed off so their joints wouldn't get beat up. And you know what? This is an important point, because so often you see some superstar powerlifter or some superstar bodybuilder who gives you his workout routine, and he might say, I don't train for strength, I don't do this now, I don't do that now. But you know what? When they were building the majority of their mass and strength, you got to understand they trained differently. I talked to Frank Zane, Mr. Olympia, Frank Zane. I interviewed him years ago, and he's a mind-muscle connection guy. But you know what I unearthed when I talked to Frank? Frank was a power lifter when he built his mass. He said what they called it back then were the odd lifts. They call them the odd lifts. So Frank was getting big and strong on the odd lifts, and after he built 95% of his muscle mass, did he go over to the pumpy stuff. So you have to consider that when you see one of these freaks on there who isn't lifting a lot of weight and he may be doing a lot of volume or just a slightly lighter weight or doing pumpy work or whatever, I would bet that during the years where he built majority of his mass, that he got a lot stronger, and just lately has changed his training style to maybe go a little bit more moderate. It's easier to maintain mass. Let's be real here. It's much easier to maintain mass. And now they just train a little bit differently to save themselves. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, check out the link below. If you've made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.